What it do? 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 We go by the name of the arcade tokens. Khleo Thomas, Will Pharaoh, Patrick Cloud, back again, live and direct for All Def Gaming to talk once again about the games that define us. Very
It's like a
important,
gaming talk show. I love this show.
right? You get a chance to dive really in depth about the video games that help mold you, not only as a gamer, but as a man as well. You know?
This is true. This is why we are the way we are. And a lot of games, it's making sense. Like everything's adding up. I'm learning a lot about you guys.
Hell yeah.
All right, I would like to go first, if that's okay.
All means.
But before we do that, man, how y'all doing? How y'all week starting, man?
It's good. Busy Monday.
It is Monday, May 4th. May the 4th be with you for all the Star Wars fans out there. But, you know, it's
that joke works every year.
Every single time. You can always rely on May 4th, man.
Man, Corona done messed up my other favorite thing about May, the Justin Timberlake stuff. We didn't get that this year.
It's gonna be May, because nobody's in the mood.
Nobody, man. I was like, oh, Justin. No, not this year. We not doing it this year?
No.
Hey, man. Even Justin can't brighten us up. Just like,
oh. Yeah, but I mean, it's cool. It's like, I feel like the weekend was super chill, so I feel like it's just days don't really matter during this lock-in, to be honest. Like it's just I don't really there was no difference between Sunday and Monday, so it's just like, all right, Mondays are busier than Sundays. That's the only difference.
Like, how was y'all yesterday? Like that's just about it. Like my yesterday was good.
This feels like the longest summer vacation we've ever had as kids. Like this is
I love it.
Yeah, dead ass. I'm having fun. I'm creating. I'm staying connected. Like I'm good. I'm not mad. There was a report that went out that says California is going into stage 2 of their COVID-19 process, meaning a lot more things will be open starting Friday.
Yeah, I heard about that. They're opening stuff back on Friday, but it's like, I'm good.
I'm okay. Just because y'all opening it doesn't mean that there's still not a threat. That's one. And two, I'm okay with how things have become right now. I've become indoctrinated to this.
Here's one thing I learned from all this, and I just talked about this on Squadcast. When white people protest, things just get done. Like the government really listens to these niggas. Because it's like when black people protest, I feel like the one thing we on the internet look at, like, we just hope nobody gets killed by the police. Like when we protest, it's just like, all right, how did it go? How bad did it go? But it's like, it seems like white people started yelling at reporters at Newport Beach. They started crowding, yelling in megaphones. And then 5 days later, here we go. The city's open back up. It's just like, all right, you guys win. But it's just like, fam.
I promise you, I didn't even put 2 and 2 together until you just said that, Pat.
Yo, like, in New York, like in certain parts of New York right now, like you got pictures of like people on rooftops, like with a whole bunch of people up there, and like cops handing out masks and sanitizers. Like, so you're not gonna tell none of these people go inside, nothing. Y'all just that's what we doing though.
It's the weirdest time for people to start all of a sudden bringing up human rights.
Yeah,
it's like, what?
Right.
It was not. But you know, in the spirit of the game, let's get into this video game talks. While we're still stuck at home, I'm still staying home after this Friday, but still, while the city's closed, let's talk about these games. So wait, who said they wanted to go first?
Will. I want to go first. Okay. All right. In the spirit of May the 4th be with you, I decided to pick a game that defined me in the realm of Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
And that one is going to be Star Wars The Force Unleashed.
Ooh, good choice.
This game, ridiculous. Why this isn't a movie yet, I don't know.
If you make him canon, he's the strongest one automatically, though.
Yes.
Period. Vader don't stand a chance. Ren don't stand a chance. Anakin, Luke, nobody can mess with Starkiller.
Hands for days. Force for days. Like, just this first part. First of all, when I first played this game and you were playing as Darth Vader, and he has like unlimited powers and specials. It was just amazing. Then you just walk up to see like, yo, this little kid takes the lightsaber from him, and he's just like, yo, you got the juice now. I gotta take you to the Death Star. And it was game over like after that. And then just so many features in it. Like this was a dude that just did so much that it was almost like, hey, I'm okay that this dude is a Sith. Like this, if whoever was like balancing to be like a Sith or a Jedi, this definitely turned a lot of people like, yo, we Sith all day now.
Huh.
This man pulled a whole spaceship.
That was the part. That was really the part that was like, all right, he's stronger than everybody.
Yeah. And let me just paint the picture for those that don't know. Picture you just where you at right now. You walk outside and you just lift your hand up. And you're just doing this. And all of a sudden you just see this big ass ship coming down, blowing up. And even in the second one, he jumped out of an exploding ship.
Yeah.
Into the Earth's atmosphere. And that wasn't even the craziest thing I loved about it. You could design lightsabers.
Yep.
All kind of them. Like, yo, I flipped out. I felt like that part from CJ on San Andreas when he go, that's the motherfucking green saber. When I saw the black saber, I was like, that's the motherfucking
Is the black saber just purple?
No, it was black with a white outline on it. A real black saber. Like you see on The Mandalorian, he was the first one to have that bitch.
Yeah, they always try to pass off the purple saber. It's like, well, it's black light. It's like, you know what I was asking for. We wanted a black saber, so it's weird that I missed that in the game. But this game was super dope, and I feel like Yoda struggled to pull the X-wing out of the swamp, right?
Yeah,
he had a shaky hand. He had the Parkinson's going.
So this would make him way stronger than Yoda, right?
Physical, force-wise, yes, but like mental-wise, Yoda got everybody. It's like
I haven't played the first one. I jumped into the second one about 2 months ago, and immediately as I started playing it, I was like, "This is why it was this good." I had no idea.
You never played the first one?
I never played the first one. I never jumped into really any Star Wars game, but Star Wars,
You like Star Wars?
I got into Star Wars about 2.5 years ago. I was like, okay, now I understand the story. Growing up, I really wasn't into it. I didn't understand it. Because think about when we grew up, we had films, trilogy-wise, we had films like The Matrix, films like Lord of the Rings. Those were different vibes. I could not get into Star Wars to save my life.
I don't understand. It seemed like you would be the biggest Star Wars fan. Like, I still don't understand young Khleo taste.
Listen, up here, Pat, it's an enigma. There's stuff that's into wrestling. At the same time, we're praising Sailor Moon. You tell me how those cross. And
you were like, Super Mario and Donkey Kong is too kiddie. I don't like the cartoon version, but then you love Disney. I can't make the split.
Like I said, a walking enigma, Pat. I am simply a walking enigma. But now the fact that I've actually played some of Star Wars Force Unleashed Part 2, I got to finish this game because Starkiller for sure cannot be a canon character. He cannot. But I would not be upset with him somehow coming back and making some type of weird appearance in the upcoming Mandalorian season 2 episode, or just announced today, Taika Waititi, which is the director of the Thor Ragnarok movie and the upcoming Thor Love and Thunder. He will be directing a Star Wars original movie. So I'm really excited to see that.
That's dope.
Yeah, man.
I like how you said he can't be canon, because I feel like there's a lot of video games that you couldn't transfer over because it wouldn't have made sense. Like for instance, like Pokemon, where you play as Red, you couldn't that wouldn't really work as the cartoon Ash, because it's just like, you can't catch everything. Like
everything.
He can't win every single gym. He'd be unstoppable. Like everybody would know he'd be famous as hell by the time he's in the second gym.
Very true.
Did you really put Starkiller in a Soul Calibur game?
Yes, they did. Yes, they did. And he was giving you that work.
He's in a Soul Calibur game?
Yep. And
I'm pretty sure it was Soul Calibur 5. I was just looking it up. I'm pretty sure it's 5. It was the one, right?
Like it too,
him like a motherfucker though.
They say it's not canon, but the way that they set the storyline up, it could be added in there.
Yeah.
I mean, that's weird for him to be in Soul Calibur and be that strong. Like,
sorry, I think it was Soul Calibur 4.
Soul Calibur 4.
They brought him down all the way just for him to be scrapping with a random regular person samurai. Like that's a stretch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I didn't believe like Heihachi, Spawn, and Link in those games either. I'm like, really? Link? Link is for sure out here destroying majorly huge monsters on a day-to-day basis. Like this doesn't really make sense.
Gotcha.
That's actually the second time Star Wars has dropped the ball on like dope characters. Like they dropped the ball with Star Killer and making him come back. They dropped the ball with Darth Maul. And then, oh, we're gonna bring him back in the cartoon. Like, no, I wanted to see him whoop ass in real life.
Yeah.
You know, took that away from us and gave us Jar Jar Binks. So,
leave Jar Jar Binks alone.
I just didn't get it.
Can you imagine the outrage of Jar Jar Binks with the social media era?
Man, the memes.
Dodge that bullet.
That would have been insane.
I ain't trying to be that guy, but the dude that played him probably would have killed himself.
Jesus, man.
He wouldn't have survived these comments.
Damn, man. That was a good choice, Will. That was a great first choice.
I'm sorry, that was funny. Usually I don't air these out, but Frozen Blade was like Will is Pat's second Pokemon evolution.
I love it. I love it.
That's funny. That just makes me think like who would be before me? Like who would be my Pichu?
Your brother. Ryan, because you don't have the dreads.
That's funny.
Yeah, man.
All right. So I'll go second. We saw a little sneak peek a second ago. My game came out in 1995 for the PlayStation 1, and this was Tekken. Tekken 1 by Namco. This game was crazy because to think back at it, it aged terribly. It's probably like to think that Street Fighter 2 is as old as it is, and it's still like one of the best looking fighting games. It's just like this game, it really just stood the test of time. But don't
worry, you about to see some gameplay right now of how bad this actually looks.
Oh man, it looks like Minecraft.
Look at that. Look at that. First of all, I don't know who's
terrifying.
Look at King.
It was really terrifying, but
it's bad.
For some reason, it just stuck out. It really stuck out, and
it survived. It survived. I give it that.
Ooh, man.
I swear, like I thought this was like a PC game when I first saw it. I was like, yo, how you put a PC game on PlayStation? It was like, no, this is a PlayStation game. It's like, no, thank you. Put in Mortal Kombat.
First time, let me know if you remember this. Everyone remembers Blockbuster Video, of course. But there was also a competitor to Blockbuster Video called Hollywood Video.
You better tell them about Hollywood Video.
So Hollywood Video was a block away from our house, and one day in a random day in summer, our dad walked down to Hollywood Video and rented the PlayStation.
Rented
you could rent a console back
then. Yeah, you can rent PlayStations.
He rented the freaking first PlayStation for us, and he got us the Tekken games to play over the weekend.
So actually, let me go. It actually was a Namco museum game. And in this it was a Namco museum game. So you would walk around a museum as Pac-Man and go into other places and play Namco games. It wasn't actually the Tekken game.
But first of all, I would quit if I was playing as martial law right now. I don't know if you guys just.
I saw that too. I saw that too.
I would quit. I'd say, get me out of here. But one thing about Tekken was that it just had standout characters. Like there was other fighters, like Virtua Fighter and like a bunch of other things that I didn't really get with it, but it seemed like every character was strong in this. You know what I mean? Like Kazuya, Paul, King, Law. We saw everybody. And the thing about the Tekken series is it just got better. Like this is, I just picked Tekken 1 for the nostalgia purposes, but Tekken 2, Tekken Tag, Tekken 3, like it kept getting better, and it was one of those games that you had to work for your secret characters, which I loved. You know what I mean? You had to do
absolutely
put in hella work with King to get Armor King, who's fighting right now, and then like on top of all that, it had what a lot of other fighting games didn't have, which is like a dope storyline. Like just that storyline that you could automatically see as an anime or something bigger, because it's pretty dark. You know, it seems like it's a long lineage of horrible fathers who throw their kids off of a cliff, and you live as a baby and you climb back up. That's basically what 2 generations of people did. They threw their son off. They're like, if you're strong enough, I'll see you later. And then they crawled back up, had a whole life of revenge, and then all the other supporting characters had dope backgrounds and storylines too.
Pat, I'm sorry to cut you off. I don't know what this game is. This Tekken card challenge game, I've never have seen this. I remember this.
I remember this bullshit here.
That's how
it was. Really? Huh?
I don't know what this is.
What fun is this?
This was on fucking Game Boy.
Yeah, it's a Tekken card challenge. I don't know what this is.
What do you do?
Dude had this game.
Apparently, you're picking up cards and you set moves as your attacks. Is what it looks like. I'm glad it's already passed. I don't know what that is.
So think of Pokemon or Yu-Gi-Oh, but without like the characters. It's just the cards you play.
So how do you fight them though?
You'll lay a card and then they'll lay a card.
Yeah.
Right, but how I don't understand. Like,
your cards have different strengths. So it'll be like if you have a Pokemon card that has like electricity on it, it'll tell you the value of it. You lay it down, and if someone lays one bigger than you, it hits your points.
Yeah,
but that don't make sense because like, how do you get new cards? You just buy them at the store.
No, you saw him just walking. You saw him just walking around. Like he walked around and picked up cards, and then you collect cards, and then like you go fight with them. It looked horrible. It sounded horrible. I wasn't a part of it.
There was a time in video games where they were slowly but surely starting to creep into that card-based battle system shit. Because we've seen it just now with Tekken. Kingdom Hearts did it with one of the DS games, and then Mega Man did it as well. I'm glad it didn't stick long.
Yeah, me too.
I'm glad that it didn't stick long.
Yeah,
but for sure that they were trying to get into that realm of their video game gameplay.
Even Pokemon tried it. Yu-Gi-Oh tried it.
Yeah, people don't know there's a Pokemon trading card video game. There is one.
There is.
Yeah.
There is.
I never played it. I want to play it.
I feel like the card version is what we do in real life because we don't have real Pokemon. If I'm playing a video game, it's like, give me
the Pokemon.
Yeah.
Low key, seeing a playback of all the other Tekkens, I don't remember a bad Tekken. Like Tekken 4.
No. That is what.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They continue to increase and develop as their other competition started to mess up more and more. Like, Bloody Roar was good, but then it hit 3 and it was like, ooh. Dead or Alive came out with like 2 and it was like, ooh. Kingdom Fighters came out with like I think 3 and it was like, ah. Tekken though just kept going like, okay, Tekken, and I think that.
It didn't necessarily get better as it went on. I don't remember that cover at all. Tekken 5.
So that game was actually it was only an online Tekken game. It was based just like Tekken. I feel like it was like Tekken 5. It was almost the same exact game, except it was pretty much just released just for online play at all. But
there was a Tekken 5 that was regular, right?
Yeah, exactly. There was a Tekken 5 that was regular, but then they had Tekken 5 Dark Resurrection, which was like
I don't remember the 5th one.
Yeah,
I just don't remember there being like a Tekken that was like, this version is trash. They were all just pretty much.
Yeah, they're all pretty good.
I mean, graphics of.
Yeah.
You were always kind of excited. I think this is one of the only series where, other than Mortal Kombat, where you were kind of excited to see new characters come into the roster.
Yeah.
Mortal Kombat, you could always look forward to seeing a ninja. Street Fighter, I got to be honest, I've never always been impressed with the additional characters that they throw on later in the series. But for some odd reason, Tekken always freaking nailed it.
Strong character.
Was that dude. How long was that motherfucker, man?
They didn't need the bear or the panda bear.
At all.
Oh.
But I appreciate it. Just like I appreciate the dinosaur that was really hard to get with the little dog. He wasn't good, but like I appreciated it.
I don't. I did not appreciate that big ass
kangaroo.
And they just came out with Tekken 7, which is lit, and I'm really looking forward to Tekken on next gen because I know it's about to be insane.
Oh man, do you think they're gonna put somebody else in there?
Oh yeah, absolutely. They're probably they have to go all out because Tekken 7 just has great characters. Like,
well, I'm saying like like how they had Akuma in one version and stuff like that.
Oh, like crossovers.
Yeah, and I think they had like Dante in another one too. So I'm just like, who do you think may be next that you would like to see in there?
Shoot, I'm trying to see Destroying Gatlin in there.
Look, they brought in Negan. They brought Negan from The Walking Dead.
I still don't. I hate that. I hate that so much.
I know everyone doesn't like it. I get all that, but like for the the business of the entertainment side, it was like, yo, you know how crazy that something you would have never thought to see happen. So I think it made the space of gaming and fictional characters more diverse for you to be like, yo, I could see why not throw him in the fighting game? Why not? I don't know how to.
Yeah, but Negan, you have to make him so exaggerated to keep up with the nigga in Tekken or something like.
I mean, they kept him with the bat.
That's the worst crossover in history.
Yeah, this is a hillbilly from buttfuck Arkansas going up against a master fucking karate expert with a bat. Like
they nerfed Negan in the show. Remember when he first came out, he seemed like he was the shit, and then halfway through the show, he started taking L's like crazy. It was like they nerfed it. Like he couldn't even keep up with the regular folk in the apocalypse. So yeah, I'm not buying Jin Kazama.
Nope.
Just because you punched out one Asian's eye don't mean you can do it with everybody else.
And the last thing I'll say about Tekken is even the characters that I didn't like being were fun to fight. Like the Jack series, I was never good with Jack. There was a couple people who I just never played as, but they were always fun to go against.
You are right. It was fun to beat up these characters that you didn't like. Like what's
I don't know what this one is either.
Yoshimitsu.
Yeah, Yoshimitsu. I hate him because of how hard he was to beat, because of how dope he was. But when you whooped his ass, you felt that.
What Tekken was this?
Hey, yo.
This looks like a mobile version of Tekken.
Yeah, it's like a mobile version of Tekken. Like I said, this thing just went through the whole evolution of Tekken. So any game that ever came out.
Low-key looked kind of good, though.
Yeah, that one looked pretty good. That looked pretty good.
I want to add one more thing on Tekken. Who here played the bowling mode in Tekken?
I did once.
Hey, Tekken Bowl fun as hell, bro.
It's so much fun.
Tekken Bowl is fun.
You know they had
one who played the bowling mode on Tekken, man.
They had they low-key had like an adventure mode in one of them that was legit. It was like
beat 'em up.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Wasn't there one where like they played baseball and stuff?
I don't think Tekken ever had baseball. I'm not too sure.
They did have mini games though.
Yeah, it had mini games. I don't think baseball was one of them. Yeah.
There was beach ball. There was a beach ball.
There was a beach ball one.
Oh, volleyball.
Volleyball.
I knew it was a sport. Yeah, it was volleyball. Thank you.
Yep.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, man.
That was the old Tekken. That was '95. That's crazy.
Yep.
Okay.
So dope seeing this like the evolution though.
Yeah, I thought it would be a good idea to go to the evolution. I mean, the first one just looks terrible, so I was like, let's not do that.
Oh, that's gonna make what we're gonna do after Khleo goes that much harder.
Yeah. All right, Khleo.
Right, for my game that I'm gonna throw into the mix today, a game to define me, going to Dave & Buster's as a kid and getting a chance to see all these different arcade games, things that you know good and damn well you can't have in your house because they don't make them for your console at home. But one of the first ones I remember ever jumping on and having a great time at was a game called Time Crisis. Time Crisis was my game, bro.
Wow.
Being able to walk into Dave & Buster's, of course, you got your gun, you're lighting people up, and then you reload. You got to shoot off screen, bring the gun back. Cool, boom, 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 boom. And then maybe you're going through the level, there's a shotgun over there. You got to shoot the shotgun to then be able to unload. Boom, boom, and then reload the shotgun. Dope. Then there's a semi-automatic over there. Boom, automatic weapon, and you're just laying fire. But the coolest thing about Time Crisis to me was the ability to put your foot on that pedal and get down to hide. And
was that since the first one?
I believe so.
I recall, yes.
I think it was always part of the game, like the whole hide and cover and to come back out. I'm pretty sure it was always part of it.
It was.
Yeah, man.
They were the king of this style. They were the king of this style.
Absolutely.
Because the storyline was dope. I loved. I'm sure they didn't start it, but the fact that you could shoot a gun and then that's how you got that gun was super dope. And the pedal made it stand out. But the one thing that they got right was the moving pistols that made it seem like you were actually, but like I remember arcade games before that just having the regular pistol, which was cool, because that's how it started. But the fact that they brought the pedal, and there might have been other games that like invented it, but the fact that they came out the biggest with the pedal and the moving like gun, that's just made that like a must go, like a must play at the arcade.
They brought the Rumble Pack to the arcade with that decision right there.
Elia Reyes actually pointed out I think the first ones to do that with the duck down was Area 51.
Okay, I played that game too. That was
I played it too. It was pretty fun. But I mean that was of course a lot with I think it was the Alien side, wasn't it? Aliens on that one. So
that was a really cool game.
But this one right here, I'm letting you know, this one got at least a hot 10 out of me if it was at the arcade. Like
For
me and the homie, it was like you knew it was like, yo, okay, go play 2 or 3 others and go fill some stuff out, go win a few tickets, because when we hit this time crisis, we ain't going nowhere. So every time it said continue, clink, 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 let's go.
I don't remember it being that expensive though. Like, you know how like you go to Dave and Buster's now, and if it's any extras on the video game, it's like a cool $4 or $3. Like, I remember this being like a cool 50 cents to $1. Like, it wasn't that bad, and that's why I got pretty far. Like, I feel like I beat some of them at the actual arcade.
We got pretty far. I don't think I ever actually beat it, but I know me and my homeboys played. We got pretty far. We just knew it was like, yo, we got $10 on it. Let's see how far we go. Shout out
to James Holmes. He said he beat Time Crisis on nothing but $1. Shout out to you, brother. I never could do that. If he had it figured out like that, congratulations, bro. I don't know what's the most recent Time Crisis, and as we can see right here, you guys can see it in the window. It did end up making its way to home consoles. It did end up on the PlayStation 2. I never played it, but I maybe should figure out how to play that live. What do you guys think? We should probably figure out how we can play that one.
I mean, of course, I got the House of the Dead on lock, but Time Crisis is a little different one. I know it made it to 5. I know it made it to 5 for sure.
I want to play like the arcade. My fault, Pat.
No, same. But this is just like when you brought Arctic Thunder. This is another one I did not know was on PlayStation.
Oh yeah. A lot of the arcade games made it to the home. They, it comes with a little gun and everything.
You saw it and didn't realize you saw it.
Yeah. No, I don't remember seeing it. I remember I had House of the Dead.
It was just a glimpse. Super bad. You remember Super Bad when they went home and he was like, "Yo, do you have any clothes? Do your mom want to shop at Baby Gap?" That's what he was playing. He was playing Time Crisis
on PlayStation. I remember he was playing something. That's crazy. So wait, Khleo.
Yes.
Time Crisis or House of the Dead?
Oh.
Is this play, download, delete type swag? Is that what this is?
Okay. Hold on. I got something for that because I'm gonna make it a little bit harder because someone just threw something in the chat. Jurassic Park had a game too. Me and Kadeem spent so much money in the Jurassic.
That was dope. It wasn't on Time Crisis. It wasn't on Time Crisis level.
No, for sure. But for me and Kadeem, I remember playing Jurassic Park so much at the arcade. Okay, so
there was a lot of cool shooters at the arcade.
Yeah, it was like the Terminator game. It was cool, but
I didn't like the Terminator game at all, actually.
I'm gonna go Time Crisis over House of the Dead, man.
You couldn't hide in House of the Dead.
No, that
was big.
Once you started understanding like the rhythm of the game, you could almost predict where everyone was coming from. With Time Crisis, everything was so loud. There was explosions, so you were just like in an action movie. Yeah. With House of the Dead, it's slow creeping. You just know you're gonna get bit by a zombie and a dude walking up to you with 2 axes and then fight some boss at the end. But with Time Crisis, you were literally in an action film. So yeah, Time Crisis for me.
And I think because they had a lot better camera work too in Time Crisis because House of the Dead you were pretty much just like moving around like this, right? But for Time Crisis, like if you were playing with the homie, you would see their character as you were moving from like place to place.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then it didn't like with House of the Dead, like when it panned and it moved the screen, like the zombies would already be there, and it's like, yo, I'm not even like. They ain't set up and the act's already coming my way, but like with Time Crisis, like you'll see the setup, you can duck down, and then you see people running in, getting set up, and then the battle begins. It's like, House of Dead, like man, and then their aiming was off. I felt like their aiming was always off on House of the Dead.
Yeah.
Did Time Crisis do that thing? I really like those shooting games in the arcade that let you like go through 3 storylines, and you can it's basically like whichever one you want. It'll be like jungle, which is easy, plain, which is medium, and then like a village that's like hard mode, and you basically.
I think there were choices. I'm pretty sure there were choices.
I know Time Crisis 2 had choices.
Yeah, I feel like it had choices like that.
Yeah, because I remember one was like an Italy type setting or something like that, and another one was like military.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Silent scope.
All right, before we move on, I gotta ask you guys something. So, of the 3 so far, we got Time Crisis, Tekken, and what'd you start with, Will?
Force
Unleashed. Star Wars.
Star Wars Force Unleashed. One got to be taken out of here. One's deleted. This is play, download, delete with these 3 choices. That means play one, which one you playing right now, which one goes on the back burner download, and which one is deleted. And when I say delete, the whole series.
All right, I got mine.
Go ahead.
Play Force Unleashed, download Tekken, Time Crisis can go.
Wow.
Tekken is still here. Now, the only way I would have said Time Crisis, if Time Crisis came out on Oculus right now, and it was like you could play with your friends online, I'd be like, yo, get Tekken out of here.
Low key, I feel like I would go with play Time Crisis, download Tekken, and delete Star Wars Unleashed. Because as dope as it was, it didn't have enough sequels for it to be a staple. You know what I mean? Like Time Crisis was really important for the arcade. Like I think Time Crisis advanced other arcades, and it's an arcade legend. Yeah, but I mean, I feel like you still take that out if you delete Time Crisis. So I don't necessarily think that Force Unleashed led to anything in gaming. Maybe a better Battlefront, but I don't really play Battlefront like that anyway. So I just feel like Star Wars Force Unleashed was like dope, but I wouldn't miss it.
I can see that. I can definitely see that though.
Play Tekken. Been playing it for years, so that one has to stay. Download Time Crisis, delete Force Unleashed.
Wow!
Delete Force Unleashed because I agree with the game not being a staple, and the workaround with that is that newest Star Wars game that just came out, they say is better than Force Unleashed.
But you wouldn't have got that without Force Unleashed.
We don't know that. They're not even
it's the same play.
That's not canon.
It's the same kind of play.
Force Unleashed isn't canon, so that ain't even in
I'm
here.
saying, but like the playing style and everything like that. Remember, like you deleting Star Wars games. So
not Star Wars games.
No,
it don't work like that.
So I'm going to believe had this one not came out, they would have not continued to make Star Wars games. Battlefront.
That's why I wish you guys played PC, because low key on the computer there were a lot of dope Star Wars games. Like I remember in the 90s there was
there are.
Right when this was right when Episode 1 came out with the racing. There were like, even though that movie was terrible, there were some decent games on the computer where you were basically having the like Star Wars racing, and in that same wave, there were like adventure games on like that were like the same style as Star Wars Unleashed. So they had that style.
And before you move on to that, Pat, not to cut you off because you mentioned the racing game. What console was like when Episode 1 came out? They had that racing game on console.
Pod Racers.
What console was it on? It wasn't 64, was it?
It was N64.
I never had that version.
Yo, that one was dope.
There was a couple racers that were dope on Star Wars, but I just generally, racing isn't my genre. Like if it's ridiculous like Mario Kart, I'll for sure do it, but I don't really be playing racing like that. Not since like Midnight Club days.
You'd like Pod Racers because it was just like the movie. So like even in the movie, like the Anakin like stage they were doing, it's just like that, and it's just as big. Like that game was pretty good. So I was just agreeing with you when you had said like the racing games and the Star Wars and stuff like that. It just reminded me of it.
We got to give we talked about, of course, the Force Unleashed, but then Star Wars Jedi A Fallen Order, the video game actually got an update today for May 4th. May the 4th be with you. It includes brand new combat challenges and new Journey Plus mode. So big shout out to everyone over there that made Star Wars Fallen Order come to life today.
Also, for all you Fortnite fans, if you buy Fallen Order today, you will get a free Stormtrooper skin for Fortnite.
Word?
Fortnite is killing it, man.
Yep. Free Stormtrooper skin if you buy Fallen Order today.
Bro, phone apps taught me that all I want is just the option of changing what the character I'm playing looks like.
Just
costumes are where it's at. Like that's remember we were playing Ape Escape and we were just like, man, you basically are collecting these things, but if they had different skins, it would have been a completely different game. Like skins are pretty much just where it's at in gaming. So
microtransactions is the way to go. Like one of the biggest things I ever learned about how I knew apps were gonna blow up and be something huge. I was working at Apple, and two things happened. One, there was this app we found out that was $10,000. It didn't tell you what it was, didn't say anything, but it was an app for 10 G's. And at least from what I was told, 4 people paid for it. And all it was a red button. and that was it. And I don't know how true that was, but the second thing that I found out was so true was this dude came up to the Genius Bar where you get your phone fixed and stuff like that. This guy had his phone locked, his account locked, because he had spent $800 in microtransactions on Candy Crush, and they thought somebody had hacked into his account. And
He's
this
like, no.
wasn't, huh?
He was like, no hacks. I did
No,
that.
it's me. And this wasn't the first time it happened. Like he walked in, he was like, "Yo, I need y'all to take this off. I need to keep going on Candy Crush." So seeing that, and I was just like, "Yo, bro, if you got to hit like Fortnite, like you straight, like you ain't really got to do nothing else."
First of all, Will, I'm gonna need you to stop saying to everybody that you work for Apple. You worked for Apple Store. That's very different. That is not the same job. And I worked for Apple for like 7 years. Like this is kind of different.
I did that too.
What?
Worked at up there in North California.
You just said you a Genius Bar.
You are Genius Bar is tech. You have to learn how to fix tech.
So wait, you worked at the Apple headquarters.
Yeah.
What'd you do? What was your job title?
It was just a training. It was just a training to learn how to fix phones. That was it. And iPads and computers and stuff like that.
So you trained at Apple.
Yeah. What you trying to get at, man?
I'm just saying that's two different things.
I was in these Apple streets, man.
Yeah, you know, I was out there working for Steve Jobs.
Out there working for Steve, man. I was doing that, and I was making all the stores look pretty when the new shit dropped.
He was in charge of interior design at every Apple store.
Yo, not for real. Like, visuals at night is some. Bro, like you don't know how technical folks are at Apple when they want stuff made to look dope for y'all to walk in. That shit is a nightmare at night.
The fact that Apple designed the Windows Store is the most ironic thing in tech.
Yeah, that is just
period.
I don't know what they were. I was like, I don't get what's happening now.
All right, round two, Will. What's your second game?
All right, my second game, I'm going back a little bit further. And I'm gonna explain my reason why I picked this game, but it was definitely a game that defined me. Paperboy on Sega Genesis.
Oh my God.
This was my shit. And it shouldn't have been.
This is the one that was in the arcades, right?
Yeah, but they had like different, they had different renditions of it. Like there was some on like Super Nintendo, there was some on like regular Nintendo. Like it's had like its different versions of it. Like probably still out now. I would not be surprised if there was a mobile game for Paperboy.
Not gonna lie, the guy that's playing this game in this video is really good. He's really fucking good. So
hey, this game was dope.
Yeah.
If I was alive, I would for sure play this game. I was just never good at it. It's really difficult.
I never ever played Paperboy.
Really?
Never.
I loved it. Like when the dog busts out in one of the yards, one of the hardest ones to get away from. But here's the thing. The reason why I played this game because there's a story behind it. So when I would get in trouble, one, I'd get my ass whooped, but I also get put on punishment. But my parents would make up weird ass punishments. So they wouldn't take my Sega away. They just take all the games and leave the bullshit ones that they think I wouldn't want to play. And Paperboy was one of them. So like one day, Saturday morning, I was just playing and I was like, yo, I've realized how hard it was all day, just on Paperboy.
I didn't like how they had a nigga breakdancing in front of the houses. It was always a black dude with a stereo that was like breakdancing in your way. And if you hit him, he was like, oh.
It was either that or them playing basketball. Either way, this was gonna look bad.
A reflection of the times.
Of the times, exactly.
I didn't know you could do it this slow too. I was always hauling ass. This guy's going slow.
Yeah. I never did it this slow either. I was always like, okay, I'm gonna learn this rhythm. I'm gonna duck and dodge this shit and be good. And then they'll move you to like the next block. It's a whole different situation.
Oh, they scrapping. You saw them fighting.
Boxing. Oh my God.
I've never seen that. They were getting it in real quick. I don't think I've ever made it this far. I've never made it past the city.
The tricks, yep.
I've never seen this part. That's crazy. That's how trash I am. And the arcade version had the little handlebars and stuff. That was difficult.
Well, to be fair, I think this is the arcade version of it anyway. But still, my man, whoever's playing on the other side is actually really damn good.
Yeah, no, he's really good. I only made it to the dirt part once, and then that was it. I never got back there again.
That's such an interesting thing to pitch. Like, I have a video game about a kid delivering papers. Like, that's not great on paper. Like, no pun intended, but it's just not. It was an interesting idea that worked out.
It just, I never understood the job title of a paperboy. Like, it just never made sense to me. Like, milkman, I get, because you didn't have refrigeration, so they had to drop your milk off every day. Like, I feel like this was a job that was not required by anybody to do.
Well, think about it. We wake up and just check Twitter or IG, and we find out everything we need to know about like that day. That was their social. I mean, it was media, so it was like that was their version of social media. I guess if you're going to talk to a millennial, like that was the early timeline. You had to check the newspaper and be like, "Oh snap, so and so got robbed or whatever."
But you could just go buy one. But
yeah, but why? That's why this was dope, because you didn't have.
It's like we get up in the morning and we see RIP tweets and RIP posts on Instagram. They just read the obituary back then.
Yeah, that is very true. The obituaries are right next to the marriage.
Also, this Paperboy was always in a neighborhood from niggas that was paid. These are like huge, humongous houses, and it's
big fact.
There's like 6 of them on a block,
right, with fly ass cars. Maybe I'm just bitter about this because I was a paperboy, and it was nothing like this. Being a paperboy is trash if it ain't like 1953. Like, you got to wake up at 3 o'clock, and then you're not on a bike. You're on the back of your uncle's truck with a truck bed full of newspapers, and he just drives, and you just toss it from there at 4 in the fucking morning.
How did you not understand the concept of a paperboy if you lived the life?
But see, I wanted the bike. I thought it was glitz and glam. I thought it was this. It wasn't. It was some bullshit. It was getting up at 3 in the morning on fucking before school and on Saturdays and going to throw papers before you go outside and go play with your friends.
When did this game come out? Does anyone know? Because it just hit me that in Roll Bounce, Bao's character was a paperboy.
I'm pretty sure this came out in the 80s. I could be wrong.
Roll Bounce took place in the 70s, and he wasn't even on skate. He wasn't on a bike when he was a paperboy. He was on his skates.
Which is just asking to be beat up.
Exactly.
You're not getting away from anybody with that one.
You at 3 in the morning, like, dun, 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 dun. Extra. Hey. All right, Paperboy. We have our next round's delete.
Keep pushing, Jive Turkey.
So we're just competing for play and download at this point.
Let's
but
get it.
This game was dope. I did not hate this game.
Yeah. So this is one of the games that defined me. It made me understand the pleasure and simplicity for things, and it just made me like to have a better appreciation for other games that came out that you might not have heard of. People ain't really talking about. You always have those games like, oh, this cover looks interesting. Let me check this out, and it turns out it's pretty dope.
Shout out to Black Girl Marvel on IG. Came out in 1985.
1985. Pat, what's your round 2 one?
Round 2. All right. So I stuck in the PlayStation world.
Okay.
This is now I didn't know until I researched it that there was an earlier version than the one that I played on PlayStation. I guess it came out on Genesis or something like that, or arcade.
Yeah, I wish I knew that beforehand. But keep going.
But this was Midway. This is 1993. This is the first NBA Jam. This I did not have a Sega Genesis. My first one was on PlayStation, but the whole series was dope. I played a couple of them. I think I actually went back and played the Sega Genesis version later. But it was just like a complete flip on games, and it was just like a really creative adaptation because you basically, I don't even think they had the power to do 5-on-5. You know what I mean? I feel like that's a lot. And so the fact that they were able to simplify it into a 2-on-2, but you were the Chicago Bulls was just kind of dope. I think it paved the way for stuff like NBA Street, all those classic games. But it was cool. At the time I was really into sports. My dad was really into sports. So it was just like I don't believe there was one with was Jordan in any of them? I don't think Jordan was in them. So
no. The first game Jordan was ever in outside of like his Michael Jordan game was NBA Street. It was
Jordan's likeness cost so much.
That's so dope.
The game company said, "You want how much? Nigga, please, we'll do the game without you."
Yeah, you got
no boxing.
Shout out to Michael Jordan for understanding his worth, though.
He thought he was bigger than the whole NBA, which is crazy.
You get Scottie Pippen and you get Horace Grant.
Look, this is what this game is not giving its just due for. This is what created the black kid player. This created all the origins of shit talking, boom shakalaka, in your face.
He's on fire.
He's on fire, but this
way downtown.
And this is the key one that we live to this day. This is who started it all. Everybody done this.
Man.
Everybody that stood up to play more real. You got to stand up to play. He's heating
up. NBA Jam did this.
He's heating up. The announcer did his thing.
Yeah, the announcer was so good, bro. God tier level with his shit. Amazing.
That's back when it was called a slam dunk instead of a dunk.
Good old slamma jamma.
Good old up down slamma jamma. Yo,
bro, I personally think that this is the Steph Curry origin story. When you got to shoot from half court and it went in, it was like, I could probably really do that.
Yo, did you play the arcade version?
I believe I played the arcade version like as an adult, but I was always playing this on PlayStation.
Yeah, so the arcade version, it was like MK3. If you knew like the symbols at the bottom, you could either switch it to big heads, unlimited turbo, or always on fire for everybody.
Yep. Was that?
That's the thing I was going to mention was the cheats. The cheats were top tier. Not only could you play as the mascots, which I loved, being like the giant hornet or the Chicago Bull, you got the extra boosts where you can jump all the way up and go like up to the Jumbotron. You're doing flips. You could break the glass. You could like have fireballs. Like the cheats were top tier. And I feel like this ruined it for like regular sports games for me, period. Like Madden, I played that for a while, but eventually I fell off. Never really got into NBA 2K. I liked the EA Big, which was basically the ridiculous stuff. NBA Street, NFL Street. They even went on to do like SSX Tricky. Like that line of sports games are really my only visit in sports gaming.
And since it was made by Midway, there was other hacks or other cheats where you could actually play as like Raiden and Scorpion, I believe.
Really?
On some of the games, on some of the NBA Jam. There's NBA Jam and I think there's NBA Hang Time as well, which I think is the same thing. I could be wrong. I gotta look this up, but
so there is another thing that I really appreciate about NBA Jam is it has a legacy. People love it. People grew up on it. Arcade 1UP is one of the companies that recently released a NBA Jam in-home arcade similar to the Mortal Kombat one. So you can have 4 players playing it just like how you would at an arcade. They released it, and it's Wi-Fi enabled, which I'm trying to figure out, does that mean if someone else in the world has it, Arcade 1UP has set up a server where you could play online from the arcade cabinet.
That's smart. That's
I
smart.
feel like I wouldn't want to do that with this game. I would want to do that with like a Ninja Turtles or a beat 'em up. That would be hard to play with people online like that.
Well, not necessarily, Pat, because if they're the biggest thing is your server. So if they have their own server where there's not a lot of people like in it flooding like you would like Xbox or PlayStation, this would move a lot more smoothly in playing this game. So you wouldn't.
No, I'm saying like this game isn't something I would want to do online because I didn't like it when another human was on the team. I liked controlling the whole team with this game.
Oh no, we was teams. We was whooping. Hey, it was 4 people playing this at all times. You didn't play this with one-on-one.
I like the one-on-one with this.
It is official, yeah. So they do have it Wi-Fi connected for online play. I can't flex, y'all. I kind of want this one, bro. It looks so cool. It has the NBA logo on the side. It has the basketball texture around the whole cabinet. I want it.
Oh, that's cool. It's literally the texture?
It's no, not the texture, but just very close-up picture of the basketball.
That's dope. Niggas is talking about NBA ballers with Stephon Marbury on the.
Hey, bro, I put so much time into that damn game. I was unstoppable in that fucking game.
It was. I never beat Kadeem not one time. Never beat.
Hey, bro,
Really?
I ain't gonna lie, that soundtrack was hard too. Like you bought the game, it came with the soundtrack.
Yeah,
that was the most nigga basketball game.
Bro, the Cadillacs, the chains, but we had a rollie on the wrist.
It was right on time though, man. That was
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Everything at the time.
We needed that.
And niggas was not trying to see basketball players in suits or whatever Allen Iverson did to the NBA.
All them niggas suits were so bad. Like, they were so big on all of them, bro. It looks terrible. You look through the loading screens on that game. I actually have it on my PS3. I'm just like, yo, this shit looks terrible.
Suits have a height limit. I really believe have a height limit because once you get to a certain height, the bottom of the suit just elongates and you look crazy.
Easy.
You look like an Undertaker.
We've seen crazy suits for like during like the LeBron James, Dwight Howard when they got drafted in.
Michael Jordan.
For sure. But John Cena in a suit is the funniest shit you will ever see.
Who?
John Cena. If you look up how John Cena looks in those suits, bro.
Oh, because he's so big.
Oh,
He
looks
like the Gray Hulk from the original Mr. Fix-It Hulk.
That's hilarious. He looks uncomfortable, low key.
He really do. It looked like his suit is holding him hostage. Like just one false move and that's it.
Fuck no. Kings of comedy ass suits. I'm good.
Steve Harvey multiple button ass suit.
Yep. But yo, man, I will say this is the last thing about NBA Jam. Something that Pat said, like with the more extravagant and more kind of exaggerated play. I was on both sides, and I always say I lean more towards this side because coming from this and then playing Madden was like this is very strategic. It's like we're playing basketball, playing football. But then I started betting money and stuff, so then that's why I just kept getting better at it. But I was always like these, like when NBA Street came out, I was like, I think it's about that time. And then you had NBA Live, and I was like, okay, I'm cool with that. Then 2K came out. I was like, all right, I'm sick of this shit. As soon as that screen came and it was turning, I was like, well, time to go get ridiculous. Put in the SS Tricky.
Yep.
I'm playing like a Mario basketball before I'm playing just regular
basketball. NBA Street Sports Mix. Mario Sports Mix for the Wii. I will show you that gamepad. I love playing that game.
Really?
Mario playing basketball is actually lit as fuck. I'm not like we're gonna have fun playing it once all this is all said and done.
Mario is the Tyler Perry of video games. He's kind of like he got the racing on. He does sports well. He's just kind of like killing it.
Mario getting on fire from the three
is unbelievable, bro.
Think about that first. Think of that visual, bro.
I gotta be honest, bro. Mario shot wet. I'm just throwing it out.
His shit.
That shit.
And listen, Mario Sports Mix. When we done with this, we are playing that game. Mark my words.
They need to do a Smash Bros remix that's just all hooping.
Yep. Can't wait.
Bro, I bet you Link would have dope handles.
Link would have probably a good dunk.
Link gonna break ankles.
Yep.
That's hilarious. All right, Khleo, what's your game?
Final game that I'm going to choose, I'm going back into the retro time as well. Will brought up a Sega video game, which was for sure a staple, I think, for the console. I think everyone, when they heard Paperboy, they jumped up and were excited about it. I'm going to bring back a game that every friend I had growing up, living in Barstow, California at that time, all of them had this game. And I want to know why was it that every black kid wanted to be a ninja, and that game would be Shinobi. Every black friend I had Shinobi. None of the white kids, which is very weird to me. All of the black kids had Shinobi. So I went on. I think my friend's name at that time was God, I cannot remember his freaking name. I just remember his older brother who was freaking like 6'4". He was tall as hell for his age. But they are the first ones that put me onto the Shinobi game, right? And all the different equipment that Shinobi had. He had, of course, the throwing stars, right? Of course, he had his katana that he'd whip out and slice folks. But he had these special attacks that were like a shuriken that had thunder attached to it, right? Or he had a scroll that he'd pull out and everyone would burst into fire. This is the exact one I do remember playing. Yeah, man, Shinobi was one of the ones for me, bro.
This looks dope. Is this how the original Ninja Gaidens were?
I think so, kind of down the same lines. I mean, the difficulty level on these ninja games are usually very hard back in the day. Like Ninja Gaiden, Shinobi, all those games were really hard to be a ninja. Like the difficulty level's pretty high ranked. So
y'all beat these
right here. My man had the heavy katana.
I never actually went back and beat any of these. I played the Shinobi for the PS2. It was a pretty good game, but this one,
these were pretty difficult.
Yeah.
Is he doing a speed run with no damage?
Yes, this is a super play with no damage, no fire, nothing.
He's not getting touched.
Yeah, so I'm sorry. I gotta start giving credit to these guys that have these videos out there, because
that's why I want this to be a show, because this is amazing.
Yeah,
like the fact that for me, like levels like this could be so difficult that I could just be dying, and like finally get past it, and somebody could just easily do it without being touched is literally impossible in my mind. So I'm kind of skeptical.
Shinobi for the Sega was really fire, and then they had a brand new Shinobi come out for the PS2, which I really enjoyed as well, man. That was a great
tough game to beat. Yeah,
very tough game to beat, because it was the level designs. Sometimes you would just be lost in these big ass cities, and you wouldn't know which was the next direction to go. But I really enjoyed the reboot for Shinobi with the PS2.
It's like this though, the reboot?
No. It's 3D. He has this ultra long ass scarf that follows him. You have to fight a whole helicopter. It's crazy shit.
Yeah. The thing also about that happens later on in that game. His sword gets cursed. So you only have like a set amount of time before you start dying. Like literally it starts eating at you if you don't kill enough people in a certain amount of time. So it starts putting it way harder later on in the game. If you don't know where you're going, you're gonna end up dead just because, this is how the game works. Yeah, Shinobi 3 looks amazing though. This is a good one.
How was 1 and 2?
I don't know.
1 and 2 was cool. It was a little bit smaller. Like 1 and 2 he was a little bit bigger. I think this one came like a little more human, like bigger size and stuff. Yeah. But it was like Khleo said, we don't know why us as black people had to have Shinobi. Because I started thinking about it too. I was like, man, I didn't play Shinobi. And I was like, nope, I had Shinobi 3.
I don't know what it was, man. Every kid has Shinobi.
Cause, man, we want to be ninjas, bro.
So wait, all y'all had Genesises?
We had Genesis.
We had Genesis.
I never had the Genesis.
Listen, like somebody mentioned in the chat, and I have to bring this up. Sega was ahead of its time, because Sega did something no one has done. Sega had the Sega channel.
The Sega what?
The Sega channel.
Sega channel.
Pat, have you heard of the Sega channel?
I've heard of it. I don't know what it is.
Let me put you up on game. You got your local cable business connected. Let's say for us right now, it's what, Spectrum? Spectrum, if you turn the channel like 99, they have a whole channel right there dedicated to Sega that you pay on your cable bill. All the games on Sega at your disposal.
Yep. Game on. They pretty much had game on demand. Remember?
Wait.
Think about it.
The old Sega Genesis had this?
Yes.
Think about when we went to hotels and they used to have those controllers that had those games built in. Y'all don't remember that? That you had to go rent the games for like 3 minutes. Think about that, but that at your house now. Think about the same exact.
You have unlimited access. It ain't time.
So I always wondered about that, because the hotels, like, that was dope. So wait, are you saying that you had to hook your Sega Genesis to it, or you didn't need one?
No, you had to. You had a controller that was sent to you to be able to play, because it was.
This was separate from the Genesis. You could just pay the cable for all the Genesis games. Oh wow, that's pretty dope.
Wow.
Yeah,
they were ahead of their time with that move.
Niggas wasn't ready for that.
No.
I don't even know how you would market that, because if you've never experienced that as a hotel, it sounds ridiculous.
It does, because only one person I knew growing up had it, and it was like the people that lived across the street. But I found out his mom was selling drugs, so that's how they had it.
Oh, okay.
So they was like, "Yo, you want to play?" I was like, "Bullshit." The only thing I remember you couldn't play was Sonic and Knuckles, because you had to have the Rumble Pack in order to play Sonic and Knuckles. You could play Sonic 3, but you had to put it into the little cartridge and put it down.
That's pretty crazy.
That would be dope for now. Like if Nintendo had a streaming service monthly that you pay for with unlimited access to all games.
They kind of have something, but not unlimited.
I mean, the Microsoft has Game Pass right now. That's pretty fucking close. The Microsoft Game Pass, I know it's on Xbox. I get it. We hate fucking Xbox, but that Game Pass is pretty legit. It has a lot of games.
It don't have no great library of games.
Will, I'm gonna stop you right there. It fucking does. It absolutely does. I can literally go down the list right now, and you would be like, yo, like Streets of Rage 4 just came out on the Game Pass already.
Streets of Rage 4 is fire.
Already on the Game Pass. Already on the fucking Game Pass right now, if you wanted it. So I'm gonna let you know right now. I'm gonna stop you there. Will, it's lit.
All right. You know.
I need to
Shout out to Brianna Ferris. Let them know, Kadeem. Co-signing for the Tekken.
I'm just letting you know. Hold on.
Go down the list, Zordon.
I'm gonna let you know.
Game Pass got the new AAA games up there. Oh, we gotta look into this.
I'm letting you know. All the Gears of Wars, Halo, Killer Instinct, everything they have. Obviously, they're exclusives. What's it called? Devil May Cry 5's on there right now.
That list was trash.
I was like, why?
That list was booty.
You went downhill after Gears of War.
All right, Devil May Cry 5 is on there already right now.
I've never been a fan.
Okay, like just go look at the list. I'm telling you, bro.
Hey, Dante's a douchebag to me.
Yeah,
he really is. Like, he's not a likable character.
When he first dropped, but then over time it just got like, okay, that whole appeal and aesthetic for that character died right in the PS3 area. We were like, we're good. We don't like him.
And the fact that he turns into like a leather demon is ass. I didn't like that.
A leather demon.
But as far as Shinobi, I'm down to try this game. I recently downloaded The Messenger, which is like an indie game that's ninjas, and everybody is telling me to go ahead and download Shinobi because of how similar it is. So I'm totally here for the ninja.
Oh, just so you know, Pat, I'm looking on the Game Pass right now. I had to do it. Guess what it has?
What?
Banjo-Kazooie. So that's all that shit you talking right now. Give them the props. All the Batmans, all the Arkham Batmans, Bloodstains.
Wait.
On what?
On Microsoft, on the Xbox One right now. Doom, Double Dragon Neon, the newest Double Dragon, Fallout, New Vegas, great game.
Listen,
Final Fantasy 15 for free.
That's the worst thing I've ever heard in my entire life. If anybody out there downloads Banjo-Kazooie and plays it on an Xbox controller, I'm gonna need you to shoot yourself in the mouth.
Fuck
That's
yeah.
the weirdest thing I have ever heard.
I need to fuck you, Pastor.
Can you imagine the banjo song starting up after you see the Xbox logo? That makes my skin crawl.
You do realize that Microsoft bought Rare, right? You do realize that happened.
I did not.
Okay, well, since you know that now, this is why that's happened. Also, Marvel's Can't Come Infinite's on here. Also, Kingdom Hearts 3's on here.
I could see both of those. I'm not